The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
We're up 43 points on the S&P. Cash volume is 2.2 billion shares. And for this size of a move, you'd think we'd probably be doing 2.5 to 2.8 billion. So we'll see how the end of the day comes. Sometimes volume does come in the end of the day. But right now, my guess is that you could see a little sell-off and a close below 21.22 by the end of the day. And I don't know if you can say anything more about it other than that. News-driven, I think probably, I don't know why you would say that the stocks would be up 40 points on one person or another being elected. My call is that we're headed down lower. It's because of higher interest rates and very low growth. I don't really see it, but we will persevere. The election will probably go very late in tomorrow night. Some of the campaigns had scheduled fireworks and parties and other things like that for about 9:30. They've canceled those. That would suggest that they think if they're going to win, it will be much later in the evening. Current numbers don't show just closing, but a race that is a actual toss-up. In several of the states that a lot of people had way out of bounds are very much in play today. I saw a few things that I thought were very interesting that applied to the stock market. And part of that was that of the pollsters that gave money to campaigns, anybody that was associated to any of the polling companies, there was about $1.2 million as of Friday put back into the campaigns from the polling agency. So whatever money they got, they gave some back to the people that hired them. I don't understand that whole thing. Maybe they should have just paid them less and not had to give the money back to the campaign. Guess it makes it look like you're doing something. The downside to all that money is that 96% of it went to one presidential campaign. Only 4% went to another. So if you're talking about people kicking money in, a la pollsters, there's a completely one-sided version of that. We also saw that when they did polls of all the national television press, 60%, 92% in the last election cycle all voted for one presidential candidate. And then people are surprised when we get things like the British exit vote or the vote down in South America for the FARCs, and they all scratch their head and say, how could this happen? Well, there are some very good ideas that happen when you want to make good decisions, and they're based on diversity. They're based on people in various parts of the country. And if only you lived in one part of this country, you might have a very skewed view of what's happening here and there and somewhere else. Just remember that everybody is susceptible to bias, and there is no bigger bias than the reporting and the polling that we have now. I was talking to somebody on the phone maybe about an hour and a half ago, and they were asking me a few questions because I'm helping them learn a software package about machine learning. And they were going, well, how did this come and how did that come out? And I go, well, you have to fix it for over polling or for over sampling. And they said, well, what's that? I said, well, you ask a whole lot more people in this category than you did that. Somehow you got to fix that. And I said, that's a feature where you fill in that normalization bucket right there. Click in that little window, and you have to normalize all of those results. Well, you normalize them for how many people are really truly out there in the actual universe. And they were going, well, that didn't match up with anything that these people are doing. And I go, I know. There is a tendency to always fight the last war, as the French did with the Germans, and you see how that turns out. Why everything is very we can look to history for patterns, not only in the stock market, but everything that we do. Just know that everything is going to be slightly different. It's not an identical copy of what has happened before. Let's get into some history out here today.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1929, the stock market sludges through a day of murky panic. 2.4 million shares trade in the first half hour. One of the heaviest openings yet on record. By lunchtime, the market has slumped 6% in disorderly trading. When J.P. Morgan and Company steps in publicly and begins to buy stocks for its own account, by day end, the Dow manages to squeeze out a small gain, but the ticker tape runs 2 hours late. Many sell orders go unfilled when they can't be matched with buy orders. This, of course, only lasted a little while, but occasionally, especially in horrible markets, you will have big moves, as we've had today. And why do you have them? They're for a variety of reasons. This one, you got to have a market to sell to. J.P. Morgan knew it. He also didn't want everybody to go bankrupt, because if everybody went bankrupt, how was he going to get and collect on all his own shorts? There's some very good passages and reminiscence of a stock operator about being on the floor that day from Jesse Livermore. It's well worth the read, but it's also very interesting that Jesse doesn't get any real props for the same day, because before they had J.P. Morgan go out on the floor, they had Jesse Livermore go out and start buying. Once he started to buy, everybody else thought, even before J.P. Morgan showed up, that somehow some low was in. It was not. In fact, the low was not to come in until 1933. But you will have many bounces on a down market. Everybody will always think it's over. They will push, they will shove, they will obfuscate, and they will lie. Sounds just like politics, doesn't it? On this day in 1929, if you missed it on Friday, buried in all the election results, a Tesla ran into a tree and violently burst into flames from its lithium-ion batteries. We've been talking about this for a while, but just very interesting to see what gets pressed and what doesn't these days. But this car burnt for 24 hours. They could not put it out. Just everybody always has a favorite, whether it's politics or cars or whatever. But very interesting to see this in Indianapolis over the weekend. We'll be back in a second.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
We're 2128 on the S&P cash volume, 2.27 billion shares. And yes, I will bring my spreadsheet up. I had a request. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can call me at 877-927-6648, and we'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. So what do we have going on? Well, earnings is taking a break for the next few days. I'm looking through earnings out here, and why there are a couple of things going on. If you're in the stocks, it probably matters. But most of these things are second and third tier stocks for the next few days. In fact, I'm looking at Tuesday here. Did anything really that would move the market? I get into Wednesday. Looking in the morning, don't see anything that bounces off of me that would really be big. Wednesday night. See if there's anything else out here. Let's go to Thursday and see if anything picks back up. Macy's on Thursday morning. Yeah, Ralph Lauren on Thursday morning. So it's for earnings, start to pick back up on Thursday. See after the bell on Thursday if there's a whole lot going on. NVIDIA on Thursday afternoon, Nordstrom on Thursday afternoon. So we've got one tech company and a few retailers out here. See if anything else. Voxel Jet. Man, a lot of what would you call them? Russell 2000 stocks. See if there's anything Friday morning that would be anything going into the weekend. No, not a whole lot. Really looks like next week before anything picks up. I have a feeling everybody knew there a lot was going to be going on this week. Didn't want to have earnings out the door. But that's kind of it. We're going to get into charts fairly early today. As always, give me a call at 877-927-6648. And see, where's my deal? There it is. And email me at path@tfnn.com. I'll look at those numbers for the day, but not getting me all excited to have 2.3 billion shares with a 44-point move in the S&P for the same amount. I think we should really be burning up this, and we're not. See if anything else out here. Want to look at WIN real quick because this one had been kind of hammered down. It is kind of a proxy for China. It has not tested its previous low, although it's gotten fairly close. It blew through the gap up it had on the May 27th. Was that May 27th? I don't think it's May 27th. What do we got here? There we go. Let's see if there's anything else. You know, you still have the 85.91, which most likely is going to get tested. In fact, let's do this. Where's my? Hang on a second. Okay. I've been playing around my program. Let's get the old one back up. Okay. WYNN. And we're back. Da-da-da. Okay, so we haven't really gotten back down to these previous lows. Let's go to a one-year chart on this thing and take a look. 86.34, which is the June 27th low. And, you know, we hit that within 20 cents on 9 million shares. Kind of bounced a little, pulling back out here today. But I don't see a great deal out here that says that these things are going to do any better than consolidate before they go higher. I don't see any V bottom in these. And probably one of the better proxies for what's going on in China. What else do we have going on out here? See, take a quick look at Amazon. Got a request to take a look at that. You know, nice little pop out here, but it is right up against the 9-day moving average. So if you were looking for some kind of signal on Amazon, I was thinking it would get down to about 740 before you had a meaningful bounce. This is right up against the 9-day right now, where it's trading just over, 782 or so, 783. Nice bounce, not a lot of volume so far on it. 4.4 million shares. We had 5.1 million shares down. If you wanted to look at the down day, though, that this is going into, it's almost 11 million shares from the 28th of October. So you're coming back up so far, lighter volume. And could you get back up on this to 895? Yeah, you could. My guess, though, is it's going to come back down to about 740, and that's where the big bounce will happen on that. IBM, request to take a look at that one real quick. This one has been better off. I kind of like this company. It is above its 9-day, which is one of the few companies it was. Never really got down in all the heavy lifting from Thursday and Friday of the downside pop. Just no volume out here today. I still suspect that the buy on this is going to be somewhere around 142.50, which is that June 27th low that I think needs to get retested. What else do we have? TLT. Lots of emailers out here today. TLT. What do we have? Now, this one's still on the south, well, at least today is on the south side of the 9-day. Tried to get up and through it a couple of times, including on Friday. It's right back down. I still suspect that the bottom in the markets would be more likely to come saying tests around that 127 level, which is the March 11th and April 26th lows that were about the same volume, 13 million and 11 million. But my guess is that that is the decision line, and that's in the low 127s and change. What else do we have out here? Question to look at Expedia, EXPE. What do we have on this one? Now, this one would be getting closer to, once again, maybe possibly being a short if everybody in the world hadn't shorted it in the last few days. Up on fairly light volume today. Any close below the next 9-day moving average would have a big sell signal on it. We were talking about FireEye and some of these others last week. Nice bounce on this one. I haven't had a chance to look at the volume, but it was good on Friday and good today. You're looking at this coming back here and bouncing below the previous low on about 3 million shares. Still suspect you're going to get another chance to buy this one at 11. So I would give it just a little bit of room to breathe. We'll be back in a minute. Give me an email at path@tfnn.com or call me at 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, so I looked at my spreadsheet during the break, and we should have somewhere around 2.85 billion shares as we go into 230, which is right now, if I am not wrong. I did change my clock. Isn't this the thing where I do a whole shower on the wrong hour? But the time change didn't. Anyway, we needed about 2.85 billion shares for a move of this size. Just to go back in a few days to see the same kind of price movement, which was even less. 2.35 billion shares so far. So not a lot of people buying it. Not uncommon to see volume come in late in the day sometimes. So we'll give it a little bit of breathing room. But right now, about 500 million shares short on the day as we go into 2:30 compared to other days of big import. What else do we have going on out here? We looked at the TLT. We looked at that. We looked at some other stuff. I had a question from Dano in Clearwater about John Deere. John Deere is bouncing around its highs. This thing had a huge sign of strength back on the 19th of August. Came right up to the previous high and turned right around. Came back, tried to spike it again with 3.7 million shares on the 10th. Kind of pulled back a little bit. Your volume has been fairly light. And the downside today is that you would have at least wanted to see 3.7 million shares. We've got 1.3 million shares. Not a rising and rousing endorsement on this one either. So a lot of volume in the bigger indexes and, of course, the broad exchanges. But I'm seeing a lot of very light volume when we come in to individual stocks. We'll look at a few out here that have caught my eye. Ultra Salon, this thing has been the Big Mac Daddy. Not a bad looking chart out here. Looks like it's trying to base out around 220. I don't know enough about this company to see whether or not there's more room for them to add one more store to sell shampoo. I think mostly a woman's store, if I'm not mistaken. But around $220 would be the buy on light volume. And you know what? I can't say that this is a bad-looking stock. Certainly wouldn't short it. Just 940,000 shares on Friday. Today, 844,000 shares. And maybe a little bit of a doji. I'm always a little greedy out here when stocks pull back. I want to get a little bit more. That 220 area would probably be where I would want to see this thing. You got to 225.13 this morning. If it could just get back in there and fill a little bit more of this gap. I know stocks don't always cooperate with me, but it would make me feel a lot better on that one. What else do we have out here? InTap. Some of these other stocks coming back and filling their gap. This one did so on a lot more volume. Had a sign of strength back on the 8th of August. Did so on 16.2 million shares. Got back into it with just 8 million shares on Friday and a nice little bounce out here today. I still suspect, like a lot of these, that the preponderance have been filling these double gaps. And on this one, this would take you to $29 on that. So I'm going to err on the side of caution until the election and its aftermath is over. But I have a feeling that's going to be next week. RGLS, which is Regulus Therapeutics. One of these penny stocks, but one that actually looks like there may be something there. I like this thing on a close back above $2.44. That's the June 28th low that had 6.9 million shares. But on Friday, just 730,000 shares. Today, just 114,000 shares. You know, the trade on this one would be up to touch this gap. That would be about $3.70. So not a bad-looking trade setup. You do need to close back above the 244 to give a buy signal, but doesn't look all that bad. Pretty horrible stock, but if you're not going to marry it and or go deep in it, looks like one of the more interesting stocks. PCRX, which is a pharma stock, also looks like maybe it's got a little stuff going on here. I've got a request to look at the IBB, so we will take a look at it. Polar, you don't use shampoo? I use shampoo that's fairly inexpensive. I'm pretty sure that they only sell very expensive shampoo that does exactly the same thing at that place. What else is out here? 3.1 million shares on, how do you pronounce this? Pacira Pharmaceuticals, PCRX. 3108 is the low from June 30th. You get into that with 1.2 million shares on November 3rd. It's down a little bit on light volume today, just 750,000 shares. Again, close above 3108 would not be bad. I dislike that energy picked up slightly on the way back down here, so I would much rather be in one of the other stocks. SUN, Sunoco, another one that's starting to kind of pull back here today. We've got kind of a double gap that would take you to about 23 bucks on this one. Energy is very light on this. It has tested the previous July 7th low of 1.3 million shares on November 3rd with this 660,000 shares. So you did that with lighter volume. The energy was light from the July 7th low up to this August 18th high. I would have liked to see the energy come out a little bit less. These last couple of days make me think that there may be some consolidation to do out here. I don't know about a gas company, but one of the better looking charts out here. What else do we have going on out here? Okay, take a look. What's going on? Okay, we're up 43 on the S&P, 2.4 billion shares. So it looks like volume's kind of slowing down. Select medical, I don't think there was anything in that. Let's go back to some of the stocks that we were talking about and looking about last week. See how they were reacting today. Nothing in ACIA, ARAY, another one out here. Cintas, which is, of course, the uniform company, a good kind of canary in the coal mine stock, in that, they've been doing pretty good. On this one, you'd want to be looking at about 98 bucks as the buy point on this one. Energy is kind of decent on the way back. You've had two decent gaps. One has been filled already. The second one you're into is this gap up, which is the sign of strength on the 20th of July, 3.4 million shares. Getting back into that with this 730,000 shares. No big whoop out here that it bounced, but again, no volume. My guess is you're going to get another chance and back to about 98 bucks on Cintas to take a look at this one. In the meantime, give me an email at path@tfnn.com. Give me a call at 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're up 41 points on the S&P cash. Volume continues to lag pretty much for the last 2 hours. Again, going into 2:30, we should have had about 2.8 billion shares. So let's call that 2.9 billion shares on the New York Stock Exchange tape. Right now we have 2.4. So we're about 450 million light so far on the day. We'll see if that does not pick up lighter or more in the day. Any close below a 21.22 would be a pretty good signal that we had our 1 day of reaction to the downside and are continuing to look to the downside. I'm thinking that until we have the Fed raise rates yet again in December, that there will be pressure on the markets. I don't think anything really changes that. Other stuff of interest out here. So find my mouse. I've got all kinds of screens. eBay. Dislike that it came down on heavy volume back here on the 20th of October of 52.5 million shares. Now it did come up on 27 million shares, so that gap down negates this sign of strength back on July the 20th. That being said, you're pretty much getting everything you can with this energy off the top. Not exactly sure where and if you'd want to buy eBay. It's very tough for, at least tough for me to find people buying anything on eBay. I think one of our engineers is the only one buying stuff off eBay anymore. I hardly ever look. It's just too difficult. You got to do the PayPal thing. They want your banking information. I don't want to give it. Just a lot of things that seem problematic to me about it. PayPal probably still much better play if you wanted to be in this space of eBay. But, a little bounce out here, no energy. Could this fail? The answer is yes. And if it does, it's headed back to $22.30. That's the July 27th, or excuse me, the July, said it 3 times in a row, the June 27th low at 22.10. So not a whole lot out there. 21.26 again, anywhere below 21.22, and you're probably going to see a little acceleration to the downside on the S&P cash. Had another one, CYBR. A lot of emails today, so you folks can get on. question was about CyberArk. We talked about that last week. Little bounce out of here. Would have liked to seen some volume in this one today. Certainly not getting it. 362,000 shares on Friday. 500,000 shares. Going back to Thursday, we had 3.4 million shares. Pretty big trend out here, and that is low volume in many of these stocks. Where we get a lot of high volume in the broad indexes, but my guess is that's a lot of spinning wheels out there. Netgear, the maker of some routers and cable modems. Yeah, both of mine are Netgear. I like their products. Really like the fact that some people make alternative software for the routers. This is just coming back up to its 9-day, though, and I don't see a great deal out here. No real clear signal off this high other than this thing took off like a rocket back in February, first week of February, and has done nothing but go up. So even then, you should look for just a decent retracement, if I can get that up there. You're kind of back down here. If you're looking at this for an ABC, the 50% retracement is $47.10, and the 618 is $43.87. So somewhere between that $44 and $47 range, you might want to look at that. Market's so jittery that I'm not going to be jumping in front of any moving trucks trying to catch a trade out here. This is a huge move up, which means you're probably going to get about a 50% retrace on this thing, which you kind of came close to. You were about $1 higher on October 27th. My guess is this thing's still going to work its way down, and probably intraday you're going to get something under 47. If the volume remains light in there, kind of capped down with energy on the 27th. That was 1.14, we'll call it 1.5 million shares on that October 27th move. It's just kind of gone sideways since then. I would like to see one more pull down if you were thinking long on this one. PRGO, this is Perrigo, the biotech firm. Starting to make some signs that this one could be making a low. It may need a little bit more time out here. Somebody in the den pointing about Soylent Green. Who in the world would name their product Soylent? I guess millennials probably have no idea what it means. Perrigo, PRGO. August 10th had big volume of 13 million shares. $82.37. You bounce up to the September 23rd high at 99.14. You come back down, you break the previous low, but for the most part, you did that on November 3rd with this 5 million shares. You're back in the trading range out here. The only thing is that the energy from that September 23rd high was about the same as the August 10th low and what came up to that high. So maybe a trading range out here. Ideally, you would want this thing to go sideways for a few days, maybe 5 to 7 days, and just lose all kind of interest, see the volume really taper off on this one, and have a market that turns bullish. That's pretty much it out here. Weight Watchers is another one of these stocks that's really looking interesting. To me, seasonality is pretty good on this. I haven't looked into it. No one's buying this company out as far as I know. What I do like is exactly what we saw in this. And when I talk about stocks going sideways, this is a perfect example. We brought this one up early last week. You know, I wasn't real bullish, and I'm not going to get into this thing for 10%. But if this thing pulls back again one more time with light volume to around that low $10 level, you may want to keep a very close eye on this. It is very seasonal going into the end of the year. And, of course, after the first of the year when everybody feels rather fat and bloated, not a bad stocks to take a look at. What else we have? Well, we're getting ready for the break, and then we got one segment left. Make sure and email me if you've got anything else you want to look at. I think we got to just about everything out here. 2125 on the S&P cash, 2.48 billion shares. So quite a move out here, 40 points on the S&P cash, but not coming anywhere close to the kind of volume I like to see on a move like this. Then we come back, we got a request to look at Priceline, PCLN. So we will do that. Chop, chop.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're at 2125 on the S&P cash. The high was 2129. Anything below 2122 probably just looks like a one-day market indigestion issue. 2.5 billion shares, so we're really starting to track behind about 500 million shares so far. So we'll see how this comes in. But, you know, you get a big move like this, you should see a lot of shorts skinning on out of their positions and causing some volume. Very light volume or lighter volume that you would like to see on the broad markets, and even very light on a lot of the individual stocks that we've looked through. The Priceline Group, this thing keeps running up higher and higher. fundamentals continue to weaken in this sector. The question is it just going to be one of these things that you wake up one day and it's down $300 and you'd never get a chance to short it? And the answer may be yes. At $1,500 for a stock price, very few people shorting the equity in this one, which makes it a great short. The downside is without shorts piling on, very tough to get this thing to start having the momentum down. Most likely this will have to hit an earnings patch before it heads lower. Eventually, the people that are giving all the money to these Priceline groups, which is not the airlines for the most part, it is hotels and car rental agencies, will probably find some way to give them a commissionectomy. That's a technical word. And I don't know if we've seen that so far. I think we've got Hertz or Avis. I think it's Hertz after the bell tonight. We might get a little read on how this business is doing. So we'll take a look at that. Another question was Yahoo. I don't know how you trade this thing other than the fact that it's going to trade off of Alibaba. And who knows whether this deal ever gets done at all with the other company. But on a chart basis, it did come back down to this gap up. The gap up was on 24 million shares. We came down with 13 million shares, 7 million shares, 4 million shares, and bounced, though, today with under 3 million shares already. So light and variable. I just don't see any kind of risk reward in many of these. Again, for the most part, a lot of moves out here on fairly light volume. Most of my targets that if I wanted to get long these stocks would have to come back and fill more of these gaps that are just underneath it. Guess if I had to pick one particular stock that I'm looking at closer, it would be that Weight Watchers, just for the seasonality of it. A nice little bounce out here, not the kind of volume you want. One more pullback into that lower $10 range might be interesting. See if there's anything else I wanted to look at out here. Someone wanted me to look at DDD. What a lot of emails today. This thing has kind of come off the bottom. You're kind of getting back into it. Dislike the high volume from November 4th. That's going to need to get retested. You really need to look at the 1159 from July 27th. And if I was going to buy this for long term, I think it's setting up. But you've got this low out here at $6, and you can make a big case that that one needs to be retested before you get back into any of these 3D stocks. Anyway, it's Monday, so for the next 2 hours, we've got the one and only Tom O'Brien to check us out. Not much happening out after the bell, as we said, back through Thursday. So going to be kind of a quiet week after hours. Get a little bit more chance to do a little introspection of the election tomorrow, the aftermath Wednesday, and back into earnings on Thursday. In the meantime, so when we can, not when we can.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.